Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. I'm going to be altering this playing card as part of the full deck challenge hosted by Shanuki Art. I will list her YouTube channel down below so if you want some more information about that. The prompts for this card are the color coral, trees, book page, and zigzag. So I am starting off, I have this packaging paper that came in something I received today, and I am going to, I kind of crinkled it up and then I'm just gluing this down to cover the entire face of my card. I'm not really worried about leaving, the card kind of showing through. But anyway, so I just set that off to the side to dry, and I'm going to work on this next part. I know that I wanted to create my tree out of book page, and so what I decided to do is use this kind of turquoise teal kind of color, and I wanted to paint it on this book page. Now, this book page that I have here is actually from like a 1925 almanac, and it has the most interesting texture for being such an old book. And I got this from a subscription for a house of books, and I've done an unboxing of this actually on my channel as well. I'll link the video for that. But I decided I wanted to kind of thin down. I'm using some Dina Wakley paints, and I wanted to thin them down because I wanted to still be able to see the text through. And so I added a little bit too much water, but this paper has such an interesting texture to it. It's like it's not even soaking into the paper. It's so strange and weird, and it actually ended up working out perfectly for what I was trying to do. So I ended up adding some gesso just to kind of try to lighten it and thicken it just a little bit. And so you're going to see me kind of go back and forth here, adding some gesso, adding some more of the Dina Wakley paint, and I'm going to actually add it like directly to this page. I'm really just trying to get the texture and the depth of color that I'm wanting, but still being able to see that I'm using book text, if that makes sense. So I had some extra here. I just am kind of rubbing it onto the background of the card that I'm going to be doing. And then again, I wanted to just darken this back up a little bit. When I added the gesso, it just made it too much of a baby blue kind of color, and I really wanted it to be darker than that. So I dried that with my heat tool, and now I'm going to come in and trim around my card. You could tear this certainly if you wanted to. I just went ahead and used my scissors here to cut this out. And then I cut this out so I would have the kind of a size to go by, but I'm going to just kind of freehand this really wonky tree on my book text. And I don't know why whenever I saw that the prompt was trees for this one, I don't know why I just saw in my head like this very Seussian tree, like Dr. Seuss kind of like I'm with Lorax and I speak for the trees kind of thing. I don't know why that's what triggered in my brain, but it just did. So I cut out my little tree and my tree stump here, and the other prompt was coral. So I'm using this paint. This is Dina Wakley. I can't remember the name of this particular paint right off the top of my head, but it ended up when I got it, it looked kind of coral in the bottle, and then when I got it, I think it was because it was on that craft color paper, it just looked too pink. And so I went with this is the Handmade Modern paint from Target. I don't often use this paint because it's almost like a semi-gloss or like a satin finish, and it can get I don't know, like sticky or something. I don't know. It's not, I know a lot of people are crazy about this paint. It's not really my favorite paint, but it was definitely more of the coral color that I preferred. And so I'm just going in now with a little palette knife and just kind of adding different layers of colors. You can see I did not cover up the other color, the Dina Wakley one. I left that in there just to add some more texture and depth. And now I'm just kind of going through and creating a really busy random background just using these paints. So I'm using some more of that pink color and the pinky coral, and then the coral from the Handmade Modern line, and then that also that like turquoise color from Dina Wakley. And I will add some more gesso in there, and just without rhyme or reason, just going around, just making it, getting it till the way that I like it. And I'm basically making a faux drop paper. This is kind of how my drop papers end up looking when I'm working on them. And then I decided to add some of that to the tree, just for a little bit more depth and some interest, and just to kind of, so it wouldn't look like it was just stuck down on top. And then I went back and just added a little bit more. I felt like it needed a little bit more of that teal turquoise color. And then I'm just randomly adding just little bits. There's really no, it's just whatever kind of pleases your eye. And so I did at one point use kind of the edge of that palette knife to create some lines on there as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue down my little tree. I am using a Yoo-Hoo glue stick for this. It's going to work really well over all of these acrylic paints. So just kind of gluing that. I wish I would have maybe measured this a little bit better before, because the top of my tree is kind of sticking off the corner, but I'm just going to leave it because I ended up really liking that. So I just glued that down, and now I have this stamp set from By the Will for God. I will put my affiliate link down below. I cannot remember if this stamp set is still in stock or not, though. But it has just a bunch of like different stitching lines, and so I'm going to use this for my zigzag element for the prompt. So I'm just going to go around the entire outside of this card with this stamp. So you can see I've done that here, and I decided to go back in and add a little bit more of that turquoise. I just felt like my tree was not standing out quite enough because I had so much of that other kind of paint on there. I like the little texture that it gave, but it was just a little too much. So I'm just kind of knocking some of that back by adding some more of that teal. And then I'm going to come in. This is just a Sharpie S-Gel that I'm using, and I'm going to create some really sketchy lines around my little Dr. Seuss inspired tree here. I just wanted to really kind of make it pop off the page, and also to balance that really black stamping that I used. I stamped with Versamark ink, and so it's a real nice dark black. So I also have this roller stamp. This is a Studio Calico one. I do not use it very often because it's really fiddly, at least in my opinion. I don't really use it very often, but I liked the really the tiny typeface on it. So I spelled out the word original because that's just what I think of whenever I think of Dr. Seuss. I don't know why my brain was in kids book mode today. I really don't know. But anyway, and so I'm just going to stamp this out just right here along this coral section. And it kind of, it's kind of hard to read, but I just wanted it a little bit in the background there. And then I want to add some little splatters. So I'm using some Gesso Wash that I have just in a bottle. And I'm trying to apply this basically just to my, my tree. I didn't have quite enough, so I'm adding another little drop here. And I'm using a fan brush. I like the way that the splatters come off of a fan brush, so I use that a lot when I'm splattering. But I did that basically just on the tree. So if you like this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.